Hi friends, how are y'all doing? So it is 6:42 and I meant to do this earlier. It is 6:42 on November the 3rd and I meant to do this video earlier and I'm having some iced tea. So this is like black tea, unsweetened, and then I put some like herbal tea bags in there as well. And so yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's kind of like a mix of herbal tea and black tea, and it's good. So that's what we're drinking tonight. I shouldn't be drinking it at 6:42. Um, what did I do today? I did 2 loads of laundry, and I worked on my October spreadsheet, and I got all of my receipts input, and every month I say I'm going to keep on top of it, and I don't. So it's always a surprise at the end of the month. I try to budget like $200 for food, which I know is low, and just things like that, but I don't keep on top of it. We pretty much just spend what we need to spend and don't spend what we don't need to spend, with just a few little extras thrown in, not many, like a trip to Bath and Body Works maybe, or um, a car wash because the car is filthy and we're on like stage 3 water restrictions and stuff like that. So um, I didn't look at keto recipes today like I said I was going to. I also didn't call my mom, or I didn't do any of the phone call admin. So I'm pushing that off to tomorrow. But I did like give the dogs their monthly flea treatment and stuff like that. So this morning I had an interesting dream. So I feel kind of weird about sharing dreams. Um, I don't know why. It just feels like very private, but I don't always remember my dreams. So when I remember a dream, I'm thinking, well, maybe I should share it. Not should. Maybe I want to share it. So the first part of the dream, it was like night. It was like it was dark, but it was early morning. So it looked like night, but it was like early morning. And Mark and I were walking into the house through the front door, and there was a humongous spider web. Not thick, like the strings weren't thick, but like the spider web stretched across the whole front porch. And I saw it. I think Mark saw it. I'm not sure, but I was like, wait, don't walk into it or don't move it away because I want to find the spider. I want to know what kind of spider built this huge thing. But he just kind of moved it away and we went inside the house. So, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. We were inside the house and then I didn't see him again for the rest of the dream. So, it started to get a little bit lighter, and then this semi truck pulls into our driveway, and like somehow, I mean, we have a deck in front of our front door, but in the dream she was able to like pull up, not only block the driveway, but she blocked like not getting in and out of the front door, but I felt very hemmed in. So she knocked on the door and she said, "This isn't an Italian restaurant, is it? Sorry, I just spit." And I was like, "No, it's not an Italian restaurant." And she was like, so she goes and sits on a chair in our front yard, just sits there like she didn't know what to do now. And she didn't realize she was on private property. And then one of my friends, she's not really a friend anymore, but she used to be a friend. Um, in my dream, she went and sat and just started talking to her. And I didn't go out there, but then all of a sudden I look out and there's a lot of people from the church that I grew up in out there just talking to her, hanging around, talking to each other. And then it's kind of started to rain, and I, instead of being like, part of me in the beginning I was like, oh good, that means they're going to leave. Now why wasn't I out there talking to them? I don't know. But then I thought, oh, that's probably rude. So I invited them in, and they came in. And then, everybody has cell phones. I guess they're texting and everything. So the house filled up pretty quick. People were bringing food. And then the next thing I know, they were having a birthday celebration, but they weren't talking to me. It was kind of like I was excluded in my own house. So I thought that was an interesting dream. And then the second part doesn't have anything to do with that. I guess I knew that had happened, but like I decided to get away. And so I was like at this hotel resort or something, and there was this like secret art thing in a cave on the beach. So I went into the cave, and the art was embedded in the stone of the cave, of the rock, and it had to do with Jesus. I don't know exactly, like it felt like I was the one who discovered it, and it was very kind of, I guess, not well known because there was not a line of people out like trying to get in to see it. So I looked at that, and then I would get in the car and drive, and I would come back and I would look at that, and I'd get in the car and drive. Well, the third time I got in the car and drove, they put me on like a NASCAR speedway. And in front of me, people were flipping. They were going so fast. I mean, of course, they're going fast as a speedway. They're flipping over, catching on fire. It was then that I woke up. And that was my dream. I don't know what it means. If y'all have any ideas, let me know. I thought I would tell you a few things I'm watching on YouTube. The first thing, so I have started watching this channel called Understanding Conspiracy. And you see that right there, Benadryl. Ariel portals is not enough for delirium. So I was like, wait a minute. I don't watch. I take Benadryl to sleep sometimes. So I thought, well, let me watch or listen to this. And you could see I only got to 14 minutes. See that? I mean, it may be hard to see. Whoops. At Domino's, But then I started reading the comments. And some of the comments, some people think that the Benadryl is evil. There's one comment that says, it amazes me how so many people don't realize anything not normal is usually evil and are willing to open the door of their lives to demons. Maybe they're not talking about Benadryl. Maybe I didn't listen far enough. Somebody said, my younger brother was addicted to Benadryl to sleep. He gradually poisoned himself and his life began falling apart. He once told me he thought he had figured out spiritual secrets. He never told me what those secrets were. His body was so poisoned from Benadryl that the C19 shot was fatal for him. He passed suddenly at 25 in 2021. I mean, you can't say that because he took Benadryl, he died from that. I don't think. Some people are saying that, this one person said, I used to trip on that stuff all the time when I was 17 to 19. And holy crap, the first time I did it, I saw the Hat Man. We saw so much crazy stuff and we thought all of it was real. Sometimes we had shared hallucinations. It was bonkers. We called it Halloween candy because it was scary and it made you feel like crap, like your soul was trapped in hell. Then why would you do it? Um, my mom had mild dementia and we had to keep the Benadryl away from her. It made her symptoms much worse. Somebody says, as a now sober, very heavy drug user for years, I have some crazy stories of Benadryl and Datura. Yes, similar in effects. Also pretty sad, but my mother-in-law gave her mom Benadryl every single night, and over just a couple years, she went from a perfectly sound mind and present in the moment to completely gone. Dementia definitely seemed to be the cause of it. She can't even really talk now and didn't even know who my mom was. Absolutely heartbreaking. Oh, this one was interesting too. I remember surfing through a 4chan board back in 2010 maybe, and the thread was talking about astral projection, but it had called something else back then. And I remember the poster talking about leaving his body and walking outside, but he spotted and just chased by a shadowy hatted person. Okay, so apparently he was talking about the hat man thing and Benadryl at the same time. Somebody else said, I heard this and threw every allergy med in my cupboard and NyQuil. There have been times I've used NyQuil to sleep. Well, I mean, who doesn't? I didn't know if any of you guys have. Oh, somebody else said, I used to get high on Benadryl for fun quite often. Well, maybe not fun because it was never really fun, but it was interesting. I take anywhere from 12 to 35 and walk around at night picking up things off the ground that weren't there and that I wouldn't normally pick up anyway. I think my friends were there, question mark. So my question is, like, I've never heard of people taking Benadryl for fun, first of all. But the thing that worried me was, like, does it really cause dementia? Because I sometimes take Benadryl. I take melatonin, I take Benadryl, especially with premenopause or perimenopause. Sometimes we have trouble falling asleep. And I was very shocked to see that. And I thought, well, maybe you guys know something about that or have any experiences you care to share. I've also been watching this woman, Heavenly Fan. She's a keto vegan, and she has a lot of recipes on her channel. And I haven't written any of them down, but I've watched several that look really fascinating. And so I thought I would share that with you in case you are also keto or you're thinking about going keto, if you hadn't heard of her. And she seems to have some good recipes, so I'm going to write some down to try them. I've also been watching, because it's hard to find anything good to watch on any of the streaming services. Mark and I were just talking about this. It's just hard to find anything good to watch. So I've been watching a old British TV series called Rooms. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Rooms, but there's a channel called Major Dolby's Cat. And he has a playlist, and right here you can see he has 37 episodes, and I've watched several of the episodes, and let me show you something.
Liquid sunshine.
So you can find this series, Rooms, other places besides the YouTube channel I showed you. But what I really like about it is how neat and tidy the rooms are. They don't seem to be cluttered. Everything is kind of small and compact. Also, it's just a very calm. The ones that I've seen are pretty calm, almost depressing, but I mean, not depressing like we know the shows today. Just kind of like they're so mellow that people might say they're depressing today. But I like them because they're real sets. There's no AI. The people just talk normally. They're not trying to, be like all super happy all the time or whatever it is, whatever it is people think that you should be nowadays. So I took a nap this afternoon. Hopefully no mascara is under my eyes. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you. I'm really enjoying Rooms. And yeah, so let's do our positive ideal for the day. Late at night, yes. Oh, not that one apparently. Guess this is the one. Truly here. Truly here. Here as in here. And my reading tonight is from this book. My mom recently gave me this. See, she wrote, my grandma gave this to my mom in 1974, and my mom gave this to me in 2025. So the author is Michael Drury. Her name is Michael. And she explains how she got a man's name in this book. I'm not going to go into that, but the book is called The Everyday Miracles, A Woman's View of Personal Fulfillment. And I thought Everyday Courage was interesting. Courage is democratic. Everyone has it in some measure, for it takes courage merely to stay alive. Courage is discovery, the exploring of a self you did not know was there. Courage is believing, touching bottom and using the touch to push yourself off again to the shining surface. The opposite of courage is not so much fear as laziness, indifference, discouragement, defeat, cynicism, uncourage, so to speak. Fear is only an acute example of uncourage. There is a workaday courage required of people, less spectacular but in some ways more exacting because it is endless and because it doesn't always look like courage. The courage, for example, to keep your mouth shut when you know a fascinating bit of gossip. The courage to be pleasant but firm when you must make a complaint, or fire somebody, or take an article back to a store. The courage to vote with the minority at your school or church or club. The courage to put out a hand to the less popular girl, to be seen at a dance with the less attractive young man who asked you first. The courage to say no to a project too far out, to give a party although it scares you, to congratulate the girl who got promoted instead of you. The courage to make your own miracles, to find beauty in the ordinary, in the cliché. The heart of a flower, cucumber peelings on a cutting board, a baby's skin, late afternoon sunlight slanting across the city. The courage, in short, to live life strongly and not be lukewarm. Courage is contagious. When other people exhibit it, we like them because they widen and increase the meaning of our own humanity. Courage is acceptance. Courage is often stubborn or sudden defiance. It is also acceptance when there is simply no alternative. It requires, too, a certain recklessness, since courage is action on incomplete information, which is a fairly accurate description of the continuing condition of life. Nobody has all the answers. Nobody can see around corners. We don't fuss much about it, but keeping on is rather a brave thing to do. The Bible says we were not given the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Fear is ugly and defeat is repellent, but courage is comely because we are at home with it. It becomes us, as a fish is beautiful in water or a bird in flight. Man, too, is lovely in his native elements, among them courage. So what do y'all think about that? All right, that's it for today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I would love to have you here. And I will see you tomorrow in my next video. Bye.